Hi everyone, my name is Muneera Wallace. I'm an Ayurveda health coach, meaning I teach people how to live Ayurveda in their everyday lives and make better habits. And I'm so excited to be here today to teach you how to make my personal favorite dish called Khichri. Now, Khichri is a very common Indian household dish. Every Indian house will have a variation that they use. It's a simple one-pot meal that you can make at any time, and it's cherished because it's complete in itself. You have rice for your carbohydrates, you have lentils for your proteins, we add in veggies, we add in spices, some good fat, and it's everything you need for a meal. Now, in Ayurveda, we especially like khichri because one, it is very easy to digest. It's really easy on the gut. Pretty much anybody can do well on khichri, no matter what's going on with their health. And it's so simple and easy that it's used for us in convalescing, in detoxing. We use it for babies. It's often a first food that babies will have because it's so great and easy on the system. Yeah? So I'm hoping that by the end, you will have this amazing khichri dish in your repertoire. Feel free to use it even once a week or so as a way to just take care and nourish yourself in a really simple way. So let's talk about what goes into khichri. I have prepped everything here. The base is going to be rice. I have white basmati rice. For protein, I'm using something that we call yellow mung beans. And these are mung beans. If you've heard of these are Indian beans. They've been split and the skin has been removed. And we like these the most because, again, they're really balancing, really good source of protein and really easy on the digestive system. If you can't find yellow mung beans, because they are a bit harder to get a hold of, you can try looking for these. These are also mung beans, they're the split version, but they're green split mung beans, meaning they have the skin on still. I find that this is a bit more available in the stores around Vancouver and the island. And if you can't find those and you're still dying to try this dish, you can try red lentils. And this is a really common lentil. You must know of this already. Again, it's not quite the same protein content as mung beans, but it has some protein and it really tastes great in khichri too. So feel free to be adventurous and make it happen. Now, I have soaked this rice for about 30-45 minutes. Same for my mung beans. I've soaked them and then I've drained them and now they're ready to use. Soaking is important when we work with grains, lentils, beans, because it helps remove that outermost coating that makes them hard to digest. So in our Indian and Ayurveda tradition, we always soak our lentils and rice before we use them. Like I said, we have vegetables in this dish. So I have prepped some kale and some yams. I love going with whatever is seasonal and easily available and what feels good for the body. So for you, it could be something else, but some vegetables, about 2 cups is what's going into this dish. And now for the spices. This is another thing I love about khichri. It tastes amazing. And one of the reasons it tastes amazing is because it has these beautiful spices in it. And in India, we use these spices. The tradition of using these spices is very old. It's ancient. It's 4,000 years old. They evolved in our cuisine because they all have these medicinal properties. And when you put them in your food, you're enhancing your digestive process. You're helping your food digest better, assimilate better, and make better quality tissue. Yeah? So I've picked a few of the favorite, most popular Indian spices that I'm hoping you already have in your kitchen to use today. I have here fresh chopped ginger. Looks like this. I've made it, as fine as I could. Next, we have cumin seeds, about a heaping teaspoonful for this. Ground coriander powder. And turmeric. No Indian dish is complete without turmeric. Yeah? We're going to fry these spices first, and for that we need some fat. So I have here coconut oil today. Often when you cook Indian food, you use ghee. It's clarified butter. But if you don't have that, no problem. You can use any oil or fat you have. Coconut oil is great. It's a stable fat, great for cooking with. Yeah. And I have a couple of garnishes I've kept ready here. Lemon juice for a bit of sparkle. Add a bit of that sourness, and cilantro. Again, it's our most favorite herb, cilantro, in Indian cooking. And I know Indians who won't eat unless there's cilantro garnished on their food. Okay, so let's get cooking. I have a big pot here. We'll need a larger pot for this because we're going to add quite a bit of water. And I've set it on medium-high here. I want it to get nice and hot before I fry my spices. And the process here is that we're going to first fry our spices. It's called tempering. And we do it because in these spices, in every spice, there's these essential oils that carry all the medicinal properties. And when you fry them in a fat, it extracts those medicinal oils and makes it more available to the body. So they're much more potent when they're fried. Yeah? So in every Indian dish you cook, you'll notice that there's always a frying of the spices. In this dish, because we're doing a one-pot meal, we're going to fry them first and then add everything in, so it's just a one-pot situation. So I'm just waiting for my pan to get hot. I'm going to put my coconut oil in there. Looks like I need a spoon. The recipe I've given you has a generous amount of fat. We say fat is good. In Ayurveda, fat helps balance the tissues. It helps carry the medicinal properties deeper into your system. So I've got about 2 tablespoons in this recipe. If you're the kind of person who likes less fat, by all means, you can make it a bit less. So my coconut oil is warming up there. So when you fry spices, you go from the largest or coarsest to the finest. So I'm going to first put in my ginger. It's going to need a few seconds to fry. And then I'll put in my cumin. I'm going to keep those ready there. After that, I'm going to put in my fine powdered spices. And these don't have to saute for long. Because they're finely ground, they have a tendency to burn. So make sure you fry them just enough to open them up and not let them burn. And right after that, I'm going to add in everything else and really let it saute a little bit. Again, this is kind of a unique Indian thing we do, is we saute not only our rice, but our lentils, our vegetables, and we coat them with the spices. And it's supposed to make everything easier to digest. When you saute it, you toast it a little bit. So I'm going to keep my spices ready. And maybe I'll take these, put my veggies in first. Okay. Oil is looking pretty good. As one chef named it so well, you want it to be shimmering a little bit. I think we're almost at shimmering. I'm going to put in my ginger now. Yeah, that's nice and hot. I almost think it's getting a bit too hot, so I'm going to turn it down to about 5 there. I love this part. When you start to smell the oils come out, this smells so gingery. It's my favorite spice. I'm seeing the ginger getting a little brown. I'm going to add my cumin in now. Yeah, and that's really hot. Sometimes I almost take it off the stove if it's too hot, just to make sure my powdered spices don't burn. In goes the coriander, turmeric, just a quick saute like that, and I'm going to put in my veggies right away. Yeah, that way I ensured that they didn't overcook. I'm ready to bring it back on here. And this is the perfect moment to add in the rice and the lentils. I'm going to stir that up really well, make sure everything gets well coated with the spices. And I'm going to now add in my salt. In this recipe, I mentioned about a teaspoon of salt. You can adjust that as you need. If you take less salt, decrease it. But don't shy away from putting in the right amount of salt, because salt really helps to bring all the flavors together and bring out the spices and make it feel really digestible. There's nothing wrong in having the right amount of salt in your dish. Yeah, that's looking really great. It's starting to stick a bit at the bottom. And I always smell, you know, those grains are getting a bit of a toasty, nutty aroma. That's what I'm going for. I'm going to add in my water now. This recipe calls for about 5 cups of water. Sometimes I pre-boil my water just to save some time and make it cook faster. Smells lovely. Okay, just making sure that nothing's sticking at the bottom. I'm going to bring this back to a boil. Yeah, it's at a boil now. Now I'm going to turn it down to a simmer and just let it slowly cook for about 45 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 30 to 45 minutes, and I'm going to take a look at my khichri. Oh, that looks good. And more importantly, it smells beautiful. I'm giving it a little stir. So I could add a bit more water to this. It's up to you how soupy or dry you want it. What you want to check for to make sure it's cooked is that your little yellow lentils are cooked all the way through. There's no pieces showing up that look raw. And I'm not seeing any of that, so that means it's done. I'm going to add some water directly from my kettle here. Yeah, the wetter it is, the lighter it is, and the more soft it is in your digestive system. So that's totally up to you. I'm going to turn off my stove now and bring this over. And at this point, I check for salt. Make sure it has the right amount of salt. I have what my children call Indian fingers, where I can touch hot things. I'm just going to take a little thing. That's good. But I think it needs a touch of salt. Salt, and I'll mix that in. And you have the colors, the red of the yam, the green of the kale. I'm going to finish with my garnishes. Lemon juice for that sparkle, lemon or lime, and cilantro. And you can put the garnish on in your bowl too. I'm just going to put it in the pot. And there you are, khichri. Enjoy.